6 years ago, I started in the industry in what's known as franchise consulting. And this is where we help our clients, typically corporate executives, find the right franchise opportunity to get into. Did that for a couple of years, and I started to see that my joy in doing that work was steadily declining for a number of reasons. And at the same time, my interest in sort of the other end of the spectrum, if you will, what we refer to as franchise development, started really ramping up. And this is the piece of work that we now do, the team that I have in place now. We help small business owners turn their existing business into the next iconic franchise that changes the world. That's what we do. This gives me so much joy, guys. And, Bob, you know me very well, in a world in the last 2.5, 3 years where we've seen literally everything we knew upended. One thing that I find continues to be an anchor, certainly in my own life and in the lives of our clients, if they are business owners, and that has been the vehicle through which they support their families, in which they provide value and meaning to their communities, that in many ways becomes the anchor that they hold on to be able to ride these huge waves that we have seen happen in the last couple of years. Certainly, I love this, right? So you have Attain, who has an artsy business, and then you have me. And I don't think we could be more diametrically opposite, but we are businesses. This is what I love about it, right? And so if I can, guys, bear with me, I will not be as delightful as Attain here. I want to talk numbers for a moment, but these are really important numbers, right? So 2017, a little over 5 years ago, these are the last most recent numbers we have from the US Census. And in 2017, there were 23.5 million small businesses in the country, right? 23.5 million. Of that huge number, take it down a step further, only 40,000 of those small businesses made over $1 million in revenue. I want you to think about this: 23.5 million, 40,000, 1 million and above. All the rest that I'm not naming, they never made it to the 7 figures. Let's go a step deeper. Of the 40,000 businesses, only 5,100 of those small businesses that made over $1 million were women-owned businesses. If you now further divide by race, the numbers are even worse. African American, Hispanic, Asian American, Native American, right? The numbers just get worse and worse and worse. Why am I sharing that with you guys? To sort of set, if you will, the table for you to say, there are many reasons why this is happening, and we can surmise on a couple, but the point is that the vast majority of small business owners, and if you're a small business owner on this call, then you know it. Attain mentioned a couple of things. Marketing is a huge one. How do you get the word out? How do people know about your product or service? How do you make money, right? The fundamental question that business owners have. So there are a bunch of reasons, but the point is, whether it's lack of access to capital, lack of access to information, whether it's gender, race, other related barriers that we have all become so familiar with, whatever those things are, those are aiding in ensuring that most businesses never make it to that point of profitability, of top-line revenues, if you will, right? What do we do? So that's the premise, that's the table setting. What do we do at the Franchise Pros? Many times people will say, Faizun, so you're in the business of franchises. I say, yeah, but I'm not really. I'm in the business of businesses. And what we do here on our team, essentially, we look out for those businesses, those very few businesses. I'm going to call them unicorns, right? Unicorns don't exist, but in the business world, a very small handful do. And these unicorns are businesses that have completely defied the industry that they're in. They have completely gone against the grain of the category that they belong to. They have created a service or they have created a product that delights their customers. And once customers use their products or services, they become raving fans, right? I think each of us on the call can name a couple of these companies. We know them. We know who they are. Apple comes to mind, right? As one of those examples, but there are others. What we have done here, the Franchise Pros, essentially is to say, for every 100 franchises that will go to market as a franchise, there might be between 3 to 5 that will become what I would call breakout rock stars, where they do something very differently, where they become incredibly successful. Those are the brands that we look for. At this point in time, guys, we have about 9 or 10 portfolio brands that we've taken to market. And we are in the very early stages of essentially selling them, of growing their footprint. And we do this through the in-house sales team that we have in place. I'm in conversations right now and early stages, but I'm hopeful that we will get on our team somebody who is known in the industry for creating these unicorns. One of the most recent businesses that he's been associated with happens to be, and when I share this example with you guys, I want, as you think about this, ask yourself the stereotypes that we all hold in our minds, and we have them in whatever the space is, right? So this particular company, he brought the company and he turned it into a franchise. And the business happened to be in an industry that is about as age-old, as unsexy, and as boring as it gets. Automotive, okay? It's automotive. Now, it gets even unsexier because the space that this particular brand is in the oil change space, right? Think about it. What? Oil change? What are you talking about? Yes. He helped create this company. He then took it to market from 0 units to over 250 locations in the space of 18 months. Once he did that, at that stage, he then introduced the brand to private equity. Private equity stepped in, and essentially the company had a very successful exit, selling for over $100 million. Here's my point to you guys. It defies all of the stereotypical notions and expectations that we hold about fill in the blank. Oh, automotive, that's an industry that's dead. There's no innovation to be done. There's no creativity there. But here you have an example, and there are others. Here's an example of a company that did. It defied expectations. It delighted its customers by saying, you drive in 15 minutes, you are going to be out with your oil changed, you are on your way. And they have been able to hold on to that promise, right? Delighting customers. My role over the last 6 years has really developed where I no longer work in the mechanics of helping the business turn into a franchise. I have a team that does that. What I do, I would say I am the headhunter. I am the person that's out there looking for who that next unicorn is going to be. So in a nutshell, guys, that's what we do. We take your business, we turn you into a franchise, and then we take you to market as a national franchise brand to help grow your footprint. So I'll stop there.
So you could help Attain become a franchise for book writing.
Absolutely.
As you're talking, my wheels are spinning so fast right now. Because I'm like, well, maybe we could talk offline at some point, but I feel like I have a unicorn. Literally and figuratively.
And Attain, the interesting thing I find, it is not the things that everybody on the call thinks a business has to have.
Right.
Do you have to be, so the acid test, right? So one of the first questions I get from clients they will say, is my business franchisable? Mm-hmm. First question, right? I do such and such. Can this be turned into a franchise? My counter question, which is really the acid test for franchising, is, are you profitable? Mm-hmm. And there can only be one answer to this question, and it cannot be no, right? It has to be yes, because really that is why people will pay their money and then use their life energy to grow the footprint of the brand. Right. But yes, it's profitability, but it's other things, and this is what fascinates me. It's the personality of the founder, of the CEO. What are they like, right? So I say that again, Attain, because I meet a lot of people who say, oh, but Faizun, The thought of public speaking makes me want to vomit. Okay, we don't need you to vomit, but there are other things that you can do, right? So don't be so ready to discount yourself.
Yeah.
The personality of the founder is huge. What kind of experience are they coming to the table with,
Mhm.
right? What have you been able to create? Very importantly, have you created a business that literally you could pick up and you could plop down anywhere in the country if you want to go national, or anywhere in the world if you want to go global?
Mhm.
And the answer should be a yes. It should be simple enough. It should be simple enough where it is teachable to anybody who wants to enter into your business. It should not cost you, typically, it varies, but typically speaking, it should not cost your franchisee an arm and a leg to buy your business.
Right.
However, it should be able to turn a very nice return on their investment, right? Just some of the things that we look for when we start our search for who this next unicorn is going to be.
Right.